Hey everyone, welcome to the Shoreham Post Podcast. I am Billy and today I'm joined by other co-host, Ethan.
Hi, I'm Ethan.
So Ethan, how are we today, pal? How are we?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I've had a good day. You?
I've been brilliant, lad, brilliant. Alright, let's just get straight into it. We're going to start off with some recent Sheffield United news. And the recent news is that Sheffield United have not been nominated for anything in the EFL categories. Here's what Yorkshire Live... Nothing at all. Here's what Yorkshire Live had to say about it. Paul Heckingbottom can consider himself unfortunate not to feature on the shortlist for the Championship Manager of the Season award. The EFL has released the names of those in contention for the major awards, and Sheffield United have not been recognised in the Manager, Player and Young Player categories. Ethan,
Wow.
what is your reaction to that, mate? No United players at all on anything.
That is just ridiculous, isn't it, really? I mean, I've been to pretty much every game this season. I know sometimes the football hasn't been great, but come on, we're second in league. We're 5 points clear at the moment with a game in hand.
Yeah.
And we've had some star players, Iliman Ndiaye, obviously, standout performer. How he's not on the Young Player of the Year or, Player of the Season is just beyond me.
Indeed. I think that we should have at least got... I think Heckingbottom should have been put in Manager of the Year. Because I think even though Vincent Kompany's going to win it, because what he's done at Burnley is obviously incredible, I still feel like he should have been in there. I think I think that for the Player of the Season, I think Ndiaye would have been around there, but I don't think he's just got into the three because there's only three that get nominated.
Yeah.
And for a young player, is Ndiaye eligible? What is he? 22? Ndiaye 21?
He's 23. He's 23. He's 23 just over the border, do you reckon?
I think it's under 21s or something. I think. And I don't think, other than that, McAtee, he's been alright. Scored a couple.
Yeah,
but
they're not standout, though, are they?
No, I don't think they have been. Have been good enough. Moving on to another piece of recent news. And during the Burnley game, as Wes Fotheringham received his red card, Heckingbottom was forced to bring off a centre-back, obviously, and the centre-back he chose to bring off was someone else that was involved in the mistake, which was Jack Robinson.
Yeah.
And when he came off, obviously, he had a big strop about it. He didn't he didn't really want to come off. And what I've got here is Heckingbottom on Jack Robinson reactions being subbed off. So here's what he had to say. He was quoted saying, "I love the lads, great kids. I love them to bits. You've heard me say it's a lot that I treat them like my boys. So sometimes you end up telling them off like your boys. He does understand the situation, but we wanted to win. Luckily, that has never happened to me, but I think I would have been upset as well. I know he's upset, but that's not the issue."
Right.
So, a little question is, did Jack Robinson deserve to take the blame, kind of, and get subbed off?
I think so. When I've rewatched the replay, and I saw it live, obviously, I know Wes Fotheringham's come out, he should have called for it, but come on. When you look at Jack Robinson, he goes to play the ball, and then he backs out of it. I don't know if he got a shout from the keeper or what, but for me, you just put it out in that situation. You know what I mean? Goes out for a corner, goes out for a throw-in, it don't matter, does it? It's not a goal.
Yeah,
I'm afraid that red card cost us the game, didn't it?
It did, in fact. It put us under the cosh for a lot of it. And I do think that actually Jack Robinson did deserve to get subbed off because he was in the midst of it. You know, if one of them would have got booted, there was no red card, the game could have continued as normal.
Exactly.
But that sending off really did us in. Speaking of the Burnley game, let's move on to it and have a general discussion about it. Now, I've got 2 key points down here. And the first one is a video I've already done on the channel, but I wanted to get Ethan's reaction to it, is Wes Fotheringham's red card, about the whole situation. So, I've put down here that Wes Fotheringham got sent off after 18 minutes after defensive blunder between him and Jack Robinson. Burnley defender boots the ball up. Jack Robbo and Fotheringham fail to communicate, leading to Nathan Teller to collect the ball and Fotheringham forced to hack him down, as Teller would have had an open goal, which leads to a Fotheringham red card, but no penalty. So I just wanted to get your opinion. I just wanted to get your opinion on the red card, Ethan. Do you think it was deserved?
Yeah, I'd probably say so. I mean, you watch the replay, there weren't a hell of a lot of contact, but a player's going to go down, aren't they, in that situation?
Yeah.
I think Fotheringham meant, trip him over because it would have been a definite goal, wouldn't it? It were a defile of a clear goal scoring opportunity. So we're always the masters of our own downfall, aren't we? Whenever we lose a game, it's always by a mistake. It's just one of them, innit? But that red card just spoilt game because for the first 15 minutes, I thought that it were a good contest. Both teams, it were end to end. It were what you expected from first versus second. And then the red card, it spoiled it, didn't it? Because it just allowed Burnley just to take control.
Yeah, it really put us under the old cosh for the whole 80 minutes basically. 70 minutes.
It was 70 minutes of just defending, weren't it? And they defended well. I think the lads that were out there did themselves proud, but there's only so long you can hold off the best team in the division, isn't there?
Yeah, Burnley just kept attacking, and you could tell a goal was going to go in eventually.
It was going to happen eventually, but it's just one of them. I think I got a little bit excited when Njai got a little bit of a half chance, if you will, but keeper dealt with it really well.
When
it were dodgy back pass, I thought he might get on under it, but nah, keeper did well.
Well, the second point I've got written down is sort of the manner that the two Burnley goals went in. Kind of. So for the two easy goals, actually, I've got down that Goodmanson scored two easy goals-ish against United, and they've both failed to clear the ball and press twice, which was sloppy defending. But then again, you do have to come back to the fact that we were defending for 70 minutes, so a mistake was bound to happen.
It was bound to happen.
The first goal was a failure to clear, which I can deal with, but the second goal was a bit strange. So backup goalkeeper Adam Davis decided to come out and try and collect the ball, and he made no attempt to then collect the ball. Instead, he just kind of threw his arms at it, and then it bounced back to Goodmanson, who had a shot where there was 3 United players on the line, but none of them failed to block it. I don't blame them, but Adam Davis, I've said this, he's not good enough. I don't think he's good enough for to be our backup goalkeeper. So it's just that he came in right, and he was doing decent. He was doing decent, but like that goal, he did the same thing at Norwich. It's another mistake from Adam Davis. Norwich won, passed the ball straight to Pookie bagged. This one, it's another Adam Davis mistake. It's not the same in terms of he passed it out, but it's another one where he came to collect it, he didn't collect it, and that led to Goodmanson just tapping it in basically. So my question to you, Ethan, what's your opinion on Adam Davis? Do you actually think he's good enough?
No, he can't be. He can't be out. We've been to the games where he's made mistakes. Of course, he redeemed himself at Norwich by saving a penalty, but that's unredeemable against Burnley. That was shocking. That were absolutely woeful. I mean, his positioning's all over the place. You can't be conceding goals like that. I'm sorry. I understand we were defending for 70 minutes and a mistake was going to happen. It did happen. We conceded the first one. You can let that slide, but that second one, that's unforgivable. That was shocking.
Yeah, it was shocking goalkeeping from our backup. So hopefully in the summer we're able to get a goalkeeper that's decent enough for the backup, because I don't think Adam Davis is really going to run it.
No, I know.
Who knows though? He could turn around and prove us wrong. He's got 2 games to do it now because Wes Fotheringham's been banned. Brilliant. Yeah. Cheers, Wes.
Brilliant. 2 red cards, by the way. I like to make a point on this. 2 red cards in a season for a goalkeeper is woeful.
Yeah.
That is woeful.
The first one came at the end of the Blackpool game, didn't it, where he had that scrap with Shane Lavery?
It was Lavery, yeah. It kicked off after the game. We were there, we were at the game, we stayed after and saw it sort of all unfold. Some words we've said, Fotheringham reacted which I didn't expect out of him. I thought he was quite, relaxed, but obviously not. So he must have said something that kicked him off, and a full blown fight went out. And well, there's only one result, isn't there? But,
Yeah, yeah. So that's 2 red cards for Fotheringham now. Unless we're not missing him for the whole season, he'll come back for like the last 4 games of the season.
4 games. 4 games.
Right. Speaking of the end of the season, the end of the season running for the Blades, here are the few games we have left. So, right now we're sat on 76 points, 5 clear of Luton in 3rd.
Yep.
Here are our 7 fixtures left. So we have Cardiff at home, Bristol at home, and then we have that City game in the FA Cup over at Wembley.
Yep.
We then return for another home game against West Brom, followed by Preston at home. And then finally, our final 2 games are away at Huddersfield and Birmingham. A pretty difficult run of fixtures for us to end the season off. A few tricky teams in there that, even though they're lower down the table, you only have to look at the likes of Huddersfield to think that they can beat big. They can beat, I say big teams, better teams.
Yeah.
Better teams than them. Obviously, Neil Warnock doing magic over there. So, Ethan, we've got a couple games left. Do you think we'll do it? Do you think we'll go up?
I hope we will. I've been thinking about it a lot with the fixtures that are coming up. And funnily enough, the fixtures that I think will be the hardest will be probably the teams that are in a relegation fight, because it's getting to the end of the season now. Those teams that are down there, they need to pick up points. And they're just going to come, they'll sit behind ball, they'll stick 11 men behind ball, and then they'll try and get a scrappy winner. And we're notoriously not very good against teams like that. So I think Cardiff will be a test this Saturday. They'll come and they'll try and scrape 3 points off of us. So it's down to us to try and break them down. We've got the quality to break them down, but it's whether the performance will be there.
Yeah, I can see that as well. I think we're in a position now where if we go and mess it up and get into the playoffs, it will be like one of the worst mess ups in Championship history at this point.
It's got to be.
5 points clear of the game in hand. We've really got to do it from here.
We have, definitely. I mean, Cardiff, like I say, that'll be a tricky game. Then it's Bristol after that.
Yeah, Bristol.
I watched Bristol the other day against Middlesbrough. I think that result has worked in our favour, because at this end of the season, you want to be playing mid-table teams because they've got nothing to play for. They've got nothing to play for but pride, really. So, it's time at season where mid-table teams, they'll play some at younger kids, they'll play some at players that haven't played a lot this season. And as long as we're up for the game, I can see us getting 3 points off the likes of them.
Yeah, absolutely. We've still got some difficult games in there, though. Some
absolutely
very, very tricky ones. I've highlighted down here that West Brom could be tricky. Obviously, they're still scrapping to try and get a playoff spot. You've got Huddersfield, as I've said, they're doing magic over there. Birmingham away, that could be pretty difficult.
Absolutely.
But then again, you see fixtures like Cardiff, who should be beating Cardiff, really.
We need to be beating them. I mean, at the end of the day, if we don't beat the teams like that, we don't deserve to go up. It's as simple as that, innit? I mean, if you at the end of the season, if you can't beat a team that's the 20th, if you can't beat a team that's that low down, then you don't deserve to go up. It's as simple as that. If Middlesbrough were in our position, you'd expect them to beat Cardiff. So we've got to do a job on them. Otherwise, I'm afraid we don't deserve to go up.
Absolutely, it's just about finishing the job. Make sure we do. Below this, I've got United's potential promotion rivals run-ins of their end of the season. So I've got Luton's fixtures and I've got Middlesbrough's fixtures. Obviously, Luton now have become our main, I say rivals, main sort of competition.
They have, haven't they? Yeah,
definitely.
Middlesbrough they've dropped a few points lately, haven't they? I'm surprised with that result against Bristol. I thought, Carrick won't be having losing 2 games in a row. We won't want to make it 3. So for them to drop points to someone like Bristol, I just can't see them finishing the job off. I can't see them catching us. Luton is the one for me. They've been unbeaten in a lot of games now. And I watched them at the Lane. I don't think, from what I saw, I mean, we were awful that day, but I don't think they're that good. If I'm honest, they go to places, they go away to teams, and they do a job on them. They'll defend well, and they're good at counter attacking. They're a strong physical side, and that's why they're beating a lot of teams, because they're just bullying them off of the pitch. That I can't see them dropping many points come near the end of the season.
Yeah.
So it's down to us. It's down to us to pick up the points, because end of the day, if you're the team that's chasing, it's a harder job, isn't it? Because even if they win, as long as we win, nothing changes, and it's a game less.
Absolutely, I think Luton aren't a great team like you said, but when they know how to pick up points when they need it, and they've got one man up top. Goes by the name of Carlton Morris, I believe, and he has been like very good for Luton this season.
He's been sensational for them this season, hasn't he? Absolutely.
He's been at points carrying Luton, but then again, you never know. You never know. I mean, it would be good to see Luton in the Premier League, so they're terrible away end.
I'd love it. I'd love it. I like a bit of a change going up into the Premier League. Obviously, I want us to go back up. Burnley were already up, so those are 2 teams that have already been in the Prem in the last 4 years or so. So it'd be nice to see someone different. In that respect, I don't really want Borough to go up. I prefer a Millwall or a Luton, just something a bit different. It would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, just anyone but Middlesbrough, because
I don't like them. I don't like them.
I had a few run-ins with some Middlesbrough fans. Over on social media, not like in terms of like meeting them and stuff, but on social media.
Yeah,
they all chat so much.
Well, they follow all United accounts, don't they? They're all upset.
they're all in comments and stuff. It's honestly terrible.
It is embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
It's good to see them slip up though.
Nothing would please me more than it is. I love it. I watched them against Burnley. I was celebrating the Burnley goals. I'm not embarrassed to say that. And I was celebrating the Bristol goals. It's just nice to see them slip up after what they did to us at Bramall Lane.
Absolutely. Right. The final thing I've got written down here, and the thing we're going to end our podcast on, is general championship questions. I've got down 5 questions here of the sort of general questions. So the first one is, Ethan, who do you think is going to win Championship Manager of the Year?
I think it's pretty obvious that Vincent Kompany's probably going to win it, although Carrick has done an unbelievable job, so it might be him. But, I mean, in my opinion, I'd probably say Carrick. I'd want Carrick to win it, because I think that Carrick has done an amazing job at Borough. He took a team that were 21st and he had them fighting for automatics for a long time. I think we've just about pulled away from them now, but Kompany obviously has done an unreal job at Burnley as well, but he had better funds. So it's, what do you take into account?
I've gone with the more generic option, like you've said. I've gone with Vincent Kompany, because the sort of transition he's took Burnley through from being this direct team under Sean Dyche to like the possession-based team they now are has been tremendous. They're probably going to beat the championship record. They win every game. They win every game from now on. I think they get 100, 108, 111 points, which smash it.
They surpass the 106 record of Reading, don't they?
Yeah. So if they smash that record, then I think it's got to go to Vincent.
It's got to go to him, hasn't it?
Second question I've got down, same kind of vein. Who is your Championship Player of the Year?
Well, there's a few that I'd like to say. Nathan Teller, for one. I watched him against United. He was just unreal. He just took the absolute mick out of our defence. And of course, he's got a lot of goals, a lot of assists this season. He's been key to Burnley. Staying with Burnley, Josh Brownhill. He's been amazing for them. been key in that midfield. Who's on the list for player of the year? Do you know?
I do not know at the minute, but I can get it up now. Okay, so here we go. EFL shortlist revealed. Going on the actual EFL site.
Yeah.
I can tell you now that the three manager of the season awards, even though we've already gone past that, is Vincent Kompany of Burnley, Michael Carrick of Middlesbrough, and Mark Robbins of Coventry.
I'm not sure about that one. I think Heckingbottom should be there, personally.
Yeah, I don't know how the Coventry boss has got it. But here are the EFL Championship Player of the season. We've got Josh Brownwell of Burnley, Victor Gyökeres, you know the one I'm talking about from Coventry.
Yeah, from Coventry.
And Chupa Akpom of Middlesbrough. So there's a Championship Player of the Season nominees.
Yeah. I'd probably say Josh Brownell, to be honest. Of course, they've won the league. He's been key to that team. Akpom has scored a lot of goals, but he also goes missing in quite a few games. He missed a massive chance against Burnley. He scored in that game, but it was a penalty. He missed a massive point, and I'm afraid just Josh Brownell's a big game player, isn't he? He shows up when the team needs him most.
Yeah, absolutely. For my player this season, I'd probably say that I'll go down the Burnley route as well, and I'd probably go with Ian Matson, the Chelsea loanee at the left back. Every time I've watched him this season, he's just been phenomenal. I think he's been a very good sort of fullback for Burnley. Loaned him from Chelsea, and I think that move where he's being coached under someone that's like playing football how he wants to would be perfect. So I hope he gets the move away from Chelsea and probably permanently to Burnley.
Fingers crossed.
If Kompany stays, which is another topic in its whole self. Right, third question. You'll never guess what this question is. Who is your EFL Championship Young Player of the Season? And the three nominees for this are Alex Scott of Bristol City, Hayden Hackney of Middlesbrough, and Amad Diallo of Sunderland.
Right. Well, obviously, if Iliman Ndiaye were 2 years younger, he'd have been it. But I'm afraid he's a little bit old now. But out of them three, I'd probably go with... I'm not sure. I mean, Alex Scott has been great for Bristol City this year. He's sort of carried that team when it's needed him most. So for me, I'd probably say him. I've watched him play. He's brilliant. He's a great player.
This is going to be the first one we agree on. I'd also go Alex Scott because he's a great player. Very young, and he's already the best Bristol City player. And if we go up next season, and if we could bust a bank, not bust a bank, but if we could pick him up, I think he'd work great well. He'd be like the sort of McAtee permanent signing, where we'll have that threat from midfield.
Absolutely, he's got McAtee's sort of flair. Obviously, he's brilliant to watch. He's one of them players that when he gets on the ball, he gets you off your seat a bit NGI-like. I can't see Man City giving us both players. I'd rather have Doyle than McAtee. And I can't see them selling McAtee. Pep's got a bit of a soft spot for him, hasn't he? So I'd pick up Alex Scott, definitely, if we go up.
Fair enough then. Right, the final two questions. The first of them being, who's going to get relegated from the Championship?
Right.
Do you reckon?
There's a few teams down there, and I think Wigan's already gone. Same with Blackpool. They've just not won enough this season. They've not picked up enough points when they've needed to. So for me, I can see them both just slipping down. I think Wigan, after losing to us, I think that was a nail in the coffin for them.
Well, I can give you the points totals if you'd like.
Yes, so, that'd be good.
Right now, Wigan's at the bottom on 34. Blackpool just above them in 23rd with 35 points. Reading are currently sat in the final relegation spot with 41 points. And then
Yeah.
the other three teams above them are Cardiff in 21st with 42, but with a game in hand. And then 20th, QPR, what a fall off for them.
Massive.
With 43 points. And then 19th is obviously Huddersfield, who are on 43 points. But I feel like Huddersfield, I think they're good enough now to escape.
They are. Well, we look at the Huddersfield team. It's a team that last season finished in the playoffs, mostly. And they got Neil Warnock. He knows how to navigate a relegation scrap. They'll not go down. So for me, I think it's going to be Wigan. I think Blackpool are going to go down. They've not got enough points. They've simply just not won enough. They've had managerial changes. I mean, I don't understand Wigan's thoughts behind sacking Colo Torre. I don't agree with that. You know, he's a progressive manager. He's someone who keep in to change the team over time. That's what they brought him in for. And because they didn't get enough wins, they sacked him within a couple of months. I don't agree with that. And for my final team, I think I can see Reading going down. I can see them slipping down. I think it'll be the bottom three now that go down.
I'm going to have to fully agree with you. I think everyone who sat in the bottom three are going to go down. Reading obviously just sacked Paul Ince a couple of days ago, brought in their under-23s manager. For it, I think I fear for the worst for Reading, even though I just don't give one about them. And Andy Carroll is going to be playing League One football next season.
Great standard for him. What a man.
My final question, we talked about who's getting relegated, who's getting promoted.
Well, Burnley's obviously up there. With our final run of games, I think United's got to go up. I mean, we've got 4 home games on the spin now. It's quite simple. 11 points, I believe, and we're promoted mathematically. You can get them in the final 4 games. You win them 4 home games, we're up. It's as simple as that, and then you can just mess about for the final 2 games, play some at kids. You know, it's as simple as that. I think we're in the best position. We've got it in our own hands. We've got a cushion. Let's just get the job done now. So I think we'll go up. I hope we will. And it's weird with the playoffs because you've got different teams in there. You've got completely different styles of football in that playoff positions. I can see Preston sneaking in. I can see them sneaking in. They've been pretty quiet, haven't they? But they've been quietly rising up that table.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, go on.
I was just going to read out the point total. So from sort of the teams that could still make it, which I think's 10th and above, which shows it's really tight. Sunderland's on 58 points at 10th. 9th is Coventry with 59 points. 8th is Norwich with 61. Preston in 7th with 62. 6th bordering the playoffs at the minute is Blackburn Rovers, who I've got 62 points, but also a game in hand. Millwall sat 5th with 62 points, and Middlesbrough sat in 4th with 68, and then Luton sat in 3rd with 71.
Well, I think Luton and Borough are already sorted for the playoffs. I believe they've already made it just about. You know, so I think those will definitely be in the playoffs. As for the other 2 positions, I think Millwall have got enough to sneak in. I think they'll just stay in them positions. And then it's that 6th spot in it. Who's gonna nick that 6th spot? I mean, there's loads of teams in that mix. After watching Norwich play against United, I can see them falling off. I don't think they're good enough to go up. Though I don't really rate Wagner as a coach. Sunderland, it's the first season back in the Championship. They've lost too many games to get that playoff position for me. I think they've thrown it. Coventry, again, another team that they drew to Watford the other day. After coming back to make it 2-2, they should have really been sticking some of them chances away. And I just don't think they're clinical enough to secure that 6th position. As for the other teams, like I said, I think Preston might do it. I think Blackburn, I don't think they've got the win to do it. You know what I mean? I don't think they've got the clinical edge to make it into that 6th spot. I think when running comes running, you know, they'll get caught up.
Absolutely. For my sort of promoted teams, I've gone with Burnley United to go up, And then for the playoff team, as you said, it's very difficult. Lots of different styles of football being played here. But if I could pick a team to go up, it's Luton or Millwall for me. I think both teams going up to the Prem would be immense. I think out of the two, though, I'm going to have to go with the better side, which in my opinion, watched them play against United, even though they were terrible. I think it's going to be Millwall.
Do you think it will be?
I think they've got some good players, Millwall. That Bradshaw scored a hat-trick against us. He showed he could strike a ball. So I'd go with Millwall. It's very tight. It's very tight now.
It is very tight. I mean, problem is for teams such as Middlesbrough and Luton, they've shown that they've got some good players. So come the end of the season, if they don't go up, it's the same for United. If we don't go up, we'll get some players stole off us from Premier League teams. So, and I can see the likes of Carrick possibly leaving Borough for a team if they come snapping up for him in Prem. But for me, out of the playoffs, I think Borough play the best football.
It's not bad. I know it's coming at 5. Oh, yeah, 20 minutes.
Don't worry, we'll cut it out.
Yeah. So I'll probably say for me, Borough. I think Borough play the best football, to be honest. But I'd love Millwall to go up. I think that's my team. I'd love to go up.
Well then, that brings the first episode of the Shoreham Post to an end. Thank you for anyone that's joined us or listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to go and watch it also, or just watch it on Spotify as well, because we're on both.
Yep.
We're on both, so...
Exactly. The more people that watch, the better it'll be. Simple, hasn't it?
Absolutely. We've also got other socials, for example, our Twitter, TikTok, Reddit. Every social media you can imagine is all under the title of the Shoreham Post. So just type that into any social media. Follow the one with our logo on it. That's the one we own. And once again, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Ethan. Thank you very much.
Lovely stuff.